Discretion is advised.
Hey guys, second video for today, and this time we're going to see if we can build ourselves a receiver of some sort or another. But anyways, so two transistors we're going to need for this circuit. One is a BF199, which cross-reference to an NTE 229. Then we're going to need a BC547, which cross-references to an NTE 123 AP, and also cross-reference to a 2N3904. 2N3904 I've got, and the BF199 I didn't have one other than the original. Where the name I got this from is anybody's guess, but there she be. BF199. So somehow I'm going to get this circuit into a little small enclosure. I'm going to build myself a receiver. I'm going to attempt to build a receiver anyways. Self-contained 9-volt battery, the whole 9 yards. But it's all going to be contained inside of this. Do. So basically what we've got, tuning capacitor, volume control or HF tuning, whatever. On this one, I'm going to have external speaker here, or headphone jack, and antenna connection here. So I had to modify the circuit board here, just in perf boards again, I like using all the time. And I had to cut it down and drill it out and all that to make this board fit here and be able to ground onto everything here. So we got the tuning capacitor. It's a four gang tuning capacitor. I'm only going to need one of these, maybe two, maybe three, maybe four. Depends on the on what tuning is going to give me. So somehow I had to fit this circuit into this case. Can it be done, ladies and gentlemen? And there's even enough room next to the tuning capacitor that I can, you know, jam a 9-volt battery down there, literally. So yeah, it's going to be a self-contained radio, maybe, but we shall see. Anyways, okay, so the first thing we try winding was the coil. That'd be the first thing to get done, as it'll take the most time. And I went ahead and wound it, and I couldn't get 60 and 20, so I got about 45, maybe 40 and 20, thereabouts. 40 and 20, 40 and 15. That's all this core would take, this coil form. And as you can see, there's a slug in the center of it, so it moves up and down okay. And I just used the wire off an old broadcast band ferrite rod. Used the wire off of that, which is this stuff here. And holding the core, the coil form itself, or the former they calls it, down with wax. I just tried moving around the core. The ferrite core can go up and down, and the wax seems to be holding, so hopefully that'll be fine. I'm not going to move this unless I actually got to. So the next part now is to get the transistor mounted, or nothing else. Get the bottom of this coil connected up where it's got to go. Of course, the bottom of the coil got to go to ground, and the bottom, which is marked in black, black marker, that's the very bottom of the coil, so the black got to go to ground. The outside of the coil is on this side, and of course I got the tap, or I should say the tap is, I don't know, somewhere in there. Where she is, hiding over there. And that's my tap. So I gotta get a 47 nanofarad apparently capacitor go between the antenna connector, which is this RCA jack, and the and that black part, or I should say the top of the coil on this side. So let's get that capacitor put in there and see how she goes. But yeah, I also found a little speaker here. It's a little 16 ohm, 0.3 watt. But I've got even smaller ones again. So, you know, I got a couple different ones I can try. But anyways, let's see if we can get this circuit in this here box. Boys, oh boys, this is going to be a tight fit. Just by having that coil in there, this is going to be a tight fit. Oh my god. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so the first thing we try winding was the coil. That'll be the first thing to get done, as it'll take the most time. And I went ahead and wound it, and I couldn't get 60 and 20, so I got about 45, maybe 40 and 20, thereabouts. 40 and 20, 40 and 15. That's all this core would take, this coil form. And as you can see, there's a slug in the center of it, so it moves up and down okay. And I just used the wire off an old broadcast band ferrite rod. Used the wire off of that. There's this stuff here. And holding the core, the coil form itself, or the former they calls it, down with wax. I just tried moving around the core. The ferrite core can go up and down, and the wax seems to be holding, so hopefully that'll be fine. I'm not going to move this unless I actually got to. So the next part now is to get the transistor mounted, or nothing else. Get the bottom of this coil connected up. Where it's got to go. Of course, the bottom of the coil got to go to ground, and the bottom, which is marked in black marker, that's the very bottom of the coil, so the black got to go to ground. The outside of the coil is on this side, and of course I got the tap, or I should say the tap is, I don't know, somewhere in there. Where she is, hiding over there. And that's my tap. So I gotta get a 47 nanofarad apparently capacitor go between the antenna connector, which is this RCA jack, and the and that black part, or I should say the top of the coil on this side. So let's get that capacitor put in there and see how she goes. But yeah, I also found a little speaker here. It's a little 16 ohm, 0.3 watt. But I've got even smaller ones again. So, you know, I got a couple different ones I can try. But anyways, let's see if we can get this circuit in this here box. Boys, oh boys, this is going to be a tight fit. Just by having that coil in there, this is going to be a tight fit. Oh my god. Anyway, let's keep going. Alright, so I managed to get everything in there, barely. And to build up some, I had a lot of real estate underneath the coil here where the wax is. That was unused, so the input of the circuit, basically the antenna input here, this whole section here, is directly underneath this coil. As you can see, all the wax that's there. I'll turn on the light so you can see a little bit better. There we go. So you can see the wax down there. So it takes up a lot of real estate. So underneath the wax, this is where I put all this, the antenna input. So it's like as close as possible as I can get it. So I'm using a BF199 and a 39 or 2-in 3904 transistor. So now I've got a little tiny little 50K variable. It's for this piece here. Not 100% sure how that's going to work out there, but anyways. So we've got our, I'll call it volume control, I guess, tuning, whatever, antenna, and external speaker, or headphones, or whatever. So there we have it. So I guess the next part now is to try it and see if it's going to blow up or not. Well, let's put the covers on and see what happens. Day 2. Madman, looks like a madman on a mission here for sure. The gear and junk, oh my jumping downs. You know, have the amp out. Yeah, it's not amplifying anything. Well, it's amplifying, but it's not amplifying anything out of this. Yeah. So, much to my horror, whatever, last night, I finally decided to give this thing a try. But needless to say, it did not work. That is so sad. I can hear, you know, I'm going to turn the power on and off. I managed to get a little squeak out of the, when I was tuning this and bringing up the inductor or whatever. Got a little squeak out of her, but, you know, for the most part, nothing. And I'm going to put that nothing down to one thing. It's not that the circuit is wrong. It's that the idea that I decided to go with, which was wind my own coil here, this one here, I think my whole problem lies with that. And what I need, what the circuit called for, was an actual decent ferrite rod with 60 turns from here to there. Tap it at 60 and another 20 turns. That's what's supposed to be for this coil, but I said, well, I want to mineralize the hell out of this thing, and decided just to go with my own little coil form, wind so many wires, so many turns, blah blah blah, tap it, blah blah blah. But yeah, as much as I was hoping this would work, it's just not gonna do. It's no good, no good. So, plan B. And plan B is basically this. Going to rewind Mr. Coil over here under this ferrite, and with the cover on as such, bore a couple of holes, see if I can mount this thing here, and run the wire down through that hole into the same positions as the rest of them, and try that. Will it work? I have absolutely no idea. All I know is that the circuit should work. Should. All I can tell you right now, the circuit is not working. It's not working. So, and not even working, but a crystal headset. Crystal headphones is not even hearing anything out of this. So that's going to tell you something. This coil is no good. So I had to remove this, pick all that wax out of it, and rewind my coil. Other than that, the rest of the circuitry should be fine. There's a big should. But first we're going to, I should say next, I'm going to rewind this coil. And yeah, see how that turns out. Should be interesting, maybe. Anyways. Well guys, the circuit, forget the circuit. Circuit's gone out the door. Yeah, so in the process of trying to get this thing to work, I never rebuilt the coil yet. That's the next step. But I was messing around with the input around the coil, and I put a couple germanium diodes in there. One goes from ground to base, and the other goes from the antenna input to the coil to base. So yeah, and then you got this little critter over here in the right hand corner. Little photo transistor, IR detector, whatever. And I put that in there, and I noticed that I was getting noise. I just put it in there just for the hell of putting it in there. I just tried it for a laugh, just to see. I actually thought the thing was an LED, to be honest with you. And I posted on one of the Facebook groups, see if anybody could, confirm what this thing actually was. Well, that turned into a little bit of a shit show, to say the least. Let's just say there's some amateur radio operators out there that has a cactus up their ass. You ask them a simple question and they kind of get snotty with you. Here's an example. Okay, so I'm not putting any names or nothing out here, but this is a amateur radio Facebook group, and I have to say, there's one guy I ran into there this morning, and let's just say that guy, he needs to find a new hobby, because amateur radio certainly isn't it. So basically, here's the question that I posed to that Facebook group. It says, "Good morning, folks. Quick question. Would anyone out there know what this part is called? Thank you in advance." So I get this guy comes back and replies to me. He says, "First of all, why are you asking us? Your credentials dictate that you should already know the answer. A bit of trolling, perhaps." Okay. So I mess around with radio electronics. Since when do a photo transistor have anything to do with radio? Well, I haven't come across it yet. So I says to him, "Excuse me for asking a question." Jeez, touchy. And another feller decides to come back. He says, in response to the other jackass, he said, "Thought that's what these pages were for, information and learning." Well, yeah. And I says, "Well, I guess not. Make no wonder this hobby is going down the shitter." And this feller says, "I'm just getting into ham stuff. I can see why people get discouraged." Yeah, well, yeah, you can say that again. And another feller comes back and says, not everyone knows what a photosensor is. I didn't know. I have an idea what it is. I didn't know what it looked like, but now I do. And because of all this horseshit, now I'm getting, now I know. But anyway, he said, there's this feller that decided to get snotty. He says, this guy definitely should, though. Just look at his work description on his profile. That's what made me think this guy was trolling. He shouldn't have to ask what any component is given his credentials. Just struck me a bit odd. And I says to him, like, at that point, I just quit the conversation because it's just foolishness. And I left the group over it. I'm not interested in bullshit like that. And I says to him, I says, you won't hear from me again. I says, I'm out of here, which I left. And he says, wow, what thin skin you have. Don't venture on to 75 meters in the future. So not only did he decide to post that shit on the group toward a question that, I posed, but he also left it with a threat. Don't venture onto 75 meters in the future. Nice guy. And this was all today, December 28, 2019, and that was around 10 o'clock this morning. All because of a photosensor, phototransistor, whatever the hell you want to call the thing. Anyway, just try to throw that out there, I can see why there's so much hatred between CB and ham radio. CB radio, do whatever you want, have a laugh, that sort of thing. And you go on the ham radio and everybody's too damn serious. It's just egotistical jackasses. And that's all I got to say. It's what some amateur radio operators are. Egotistical jackasses. There's not much else I can say about it. But anyways, I figured I'd fill you on that little crapola. Anyways, I'm going to upload this as part 1. And we'll rip that apart, I guess. Put a new coil on it. Or I may leave that circuit as it is. Because I'm going to show you something that little phototransistor can do, photosensor, whatever, what I can do with that circuit. So I'm going to upload this as part 1. Part 2, I'm going to show you something very interesting that transistor, photosensor is doing with that circuit. So stay tuned. I think you might find this a little bit interesting.